Hello and welcome. Today, this class is going to be focused for anybody who just recently started their period or is on their period right now. It's going to be a nice, slow flow and hopefully get you connected with your inner cycle. So we're going to start laying down on our backs, assuming that feels comfortable for you. So this practice right now is all about finding where you can move and what feels good in your body. Everything that I say is a suggestion, so if laying down doesn't pose well for you right now, find some other sort of resting position to begin. I personally like to lay down with my knees in towards my chest or feet flat on the ground during this time of the month, so maybe you play around with it. Find what feels good for you. If you'd like to incorporate or bring in any bolsters, blocks, props, by all means feel free to do so as well. And once you find that cozy resting position, gently close your eyes. Again, assuming that feels good in your body, draw your eyes closed. Hands can rest on your sides, they can rest on your belly or right over your womb space. They can rest anywhere that feels good as well. So really tune in, find the position that feels good. And begin to just allow your body to rest down towards the ground beneath you. Start to notice how you feel, how the space that you are in, so the room you're in, even feels around you. Give yourself a gentle body scan, relaxing from head to toe. Begin to feel the breath flow, ripple in and out of your body. And just notice, see if you can evenly balance every breath. So be gentle with yourself. If however you're breathing is just how you want to breathe, stay there. Maybe you work towards matching the lengths of the inhales and the exhales. And take slightly deeper breaths than you're used to, so slow down the pace of your breathing. And as we rest here together, gently draw your awareness from the breath towards your uterus or your womb space. And internally, just begin to notice how you feel. You can bring your mind to that area in your body. How does it feel? Describe the qualities, the tendencies within. And just observe. Let your mind be open. Let yourself feel. And notice if your womb space has any messages for you today. So tune in, maybe you in your mind ask it what message it has for you, and just notice what pops up. And it's okay if nothing pops up for you. We're just here to be open, to ask and to observe how we feel internally right now. This is a beautiful time for all women where we let go of the past month and get the opportunity to start anew, a fresh cycle. So breathe through the body for a couple breaths before we begin to move. And for this practice, if you just want to stay resting on your mat and moving intuitively, I highly encourage you to do so. So only take what works for you today. If you'd like to begin to move, gently draw the knees in towards your chest. So hug your legs around, or your arms around the legs, and give yourself a nice hug. Again, if drawing them in is too much, maybe just lightly place the hands on the knees, or don't even touch the knees at all. Just let them gently make their way towards the chest. Breathe deeply here. So begin to connect the breath to the uterus. Inhaling, bringing in space, and exhaling, releasing any tension or stagnant energy. If it feels good, maybe you add a little rock side to side, and rather than rocking the whole spine side to side, maybe you just gently press the knees away from you, stacking them directly over the hip points, and almost windshield wiper the knees side to side to massage the low back, the pelvic region. However, keep those feet lifted. Again, experiment. Get to know your body and how it feels right now. Find the motion or lack of motion that serves your body right now, and stay coordinated with the breath. Move in cycles with the inhales and the exhales. Take a couple more breaths, finding whatever feels good on your back right now. And eventually, whenever an exhale arises that feels good for you, gently roll on over to one side and just pause. Rest in a fetal position for a couple moments. This cycle is a rebirth, a new beginning for you. So take a couple moments, rest here. Take some big cleansing breaths and just feel how good it feels to breathe, sending new energy to the womb space. And whenever your next inhale arises, gently press yourself on up to seated. And we're going to meet in a cross-legged seat on the mat. Again, if cross-legged does not serve your body right now, find a seat that works for you, whether that's legs extended, legs wide, Baddha Konasana, butterfly legs. Again, find what works in your pelvic region, in your body right now. Once you arrive in that nice seated posture with the legs crossed, find an inhale to sit up nice and tall, and we're folding on over. So on your exhale, hands walk out in front of you, and just pause, find a spot that feels good for you. Back stays long and lifted, so we're creating space along the back body, room for energy to flow in the pelvis and the base. If you want to stay lifted, if this is enough for you, you're going to stay right here. If you'd like to put a pillow, blocks, bolsters under your arms and drape your body down, feel free to do so. I personally, during this time of the month, just like to set my elbows on the ground, one hand stacking on top of another, and just drape my head down towards the ground. If you like to add slight little rocks here, side to side with the pelvis, again, listen to your body and go to what feels good for you. Even if the movement seems silly and organic and coming from a different place, embrace them. Give your body what it needs right now. Take a couple big breaths here. Find what feels good. Relax the pelvis, the hip flexors. Soften the low belly and low back. Breathe to the lower region of your body. And if at any point you get striking sensations from your womb space, notice what happens. Where does your mind go when these sensations come up? Do you go to frustration, pain, anxiety? Just notice, become aware, observe. Can you submerge yourself into these feelings and get to know them? Let yourself just be with them. When I truly began to connect with my cycle and my period, I used to, every month, the one time I would definitely take medicine or pain pills was the first day of my cycle. So I would numb the pain, if you will, the first day, and I knew if I got through the first day, everything else would be okay. I wouldn't have that much sensation or cramps, if you will. But when I began to realize that's probably not the best way to go about doing things for myself personally, and began to learn from the quote-unquote pain and be with it, I realized over time that it truly wasn't pain. I was conditioned to think, yes, it's pain that's occurring in my pelvic, it's cramps. We need to, as social media or every ad in the world tells you, we need to just suppress the pain. It's inhibiting us from living our lives and move on. So rid yourself of your female problems and get going. But instead, when I really sat with it and began to learn my cramps, as many people call them, I realized that it wasn't pain. If I rated it on a scale from a -10, meaning the worst pain I ever felt in the world, to a +10, the best feeling I've ever felt, I actually got a +10 to my surprise. And the only thing I can come up with was that this was life. Like, this was life energy flowing through me. And the more I began to understand it on that level, I no longer call it cramps or even pain, if you will. Yes, my pelvic region is sensitive and a little bit, I guess maybe swollen, if you will, but it's not painful. And I truly take it as that's the day that my body needs me to be still, to slow down, and to rest. And when I listen to that, it just feels so good, and I really, truly do not experience pain or cramps. It's a totally different relation. It's a totally different relation, and it's been an amazing journey for me. So I truly encourage you to tune in. When you're getting the pain or whatever you relate to it as, just notice, and maybe it's something that does actually feel good for you. All right. I know that was a long little talk for you there, but we were going to stay in this posture for quite a bit of time. So let's just take a couple big breaths as we're here. If at any point you're cross-legged and it's too much for your knees, feel free to straighten them out. And then whenever your next inhale arises, we're going to walk our hands back up if you are on your forearms or a block, and find what feels good. So maybe that means just hands flat on the ground with the arms straight. We're going to add a little twist here, or forearms stay on the ground. So we're going to start, whenever your next inhale arises, gently begin to pivot your body. So you're going to lift your right hand and place it somewhere either on the ground on the right hand side or on your thigh or knee. And then the left hand is just going to kind of come in towards the center of it on an angle to support your upper body. And you can take a look at me if this doesn't make sense. We're just going to twist gently toward the right hand side. So you'll just gently press into the right thigh. Breathe to your womb space, my beautiful goddess. Let's take one more big breath here. On your exhale, switch on over to the other side. So right forearm comes down on like a 45-degree angle. Left hand lifts. We're going to twist to the other side. So place the left hand on the thigh or maybe just over towards your side. And again, it's okay if you're doing this in any other leg variation. Just find a gentle pivot in the low back, the pelvis. Breathe deeply. One more big breath here. Beautiful. On your exhale, place the left hand back down. Inhale, walk your hands all the way up to you. Let's give our knees a break. So exhale, straighten those legs out in front of you. If you need to kind of bob the knees up and down or even sway the feet side to side, move at the pace that feels good for you. We're going to move into a super, super relaxed forward fold next. So keep the legs extended out in front of you. Relax the feet, relax the legs. They'll naturally kind of fall out towards the sides, and that's okay. Big inhale, and on your exhale, just ragdoll on forward. So almost imagining as though you're just totally relaxed along the back body, the neck, the arms. Just let yourself fold over in any way you fall and find what feels good there. Relax the jaw, maybe even wiggle it a bit. Soften the eyes, the gaze, and by all means, feel free to close the eyes and keep them closed. Notice where your mind is at, how you're feeling in your body. Navigate to the breath. Connect the breath. So maybe you even visualize the breath coming in and traveling to the base, the pelvis, wherever you feel sensation right now. Exhale, follow the breath out. Couple more big breaths here. You're doing a beautiful job today. Anytime your mind trails off or takes you away on stories, notice where it goes and simply come back to the breath. Let's take one more big breath here. When you're ready, follow an inhale to slowly lift the chest back up, all the way, shoulders stacked over the hips. And right now, I'm not going to be picky whether how straight your spine is. If you want to stay curved over, feel free to do so. And now on your next inhale, cross the legs again and pause as you're crossing them. Whichever is the dominant foot that you generally bring in towards you, put that one now on the outside and allow the cross to occur. Set the legs down. Again, if you're going to any other leg shape variation, feel free to do so. We're going to go right back into the fold we just did. So inhale, sit up nice and tall, create space in the base of the body. And on your exhale, again, hands can just set on the ground with arms straight, head can drape down. You can place a pillow, bolster, blocks under you, or eventually walk those forearms down to the mat. Elbows can stay upright or splay wide. And you can eventually set your head down to the mat. If you did stack one palm over another, flip the stack. So we're going opposite this round. And again, we're going to be here for a little bit of time. So if you like to even give yourself a little sway side to side, moving into the pelvic region, feel free to do so. Again, whatever organic, intuitive movement comes up for you, please feel free to take it. And also, if you don't want to stay in the posture as long as I am guiding you today, move. Give your body what it needs. It makes me so happy to have my students just listen to what their body's calling them to do and just go there. So please go there, wherever your body needs you to go right now. If you are staying cross-legged, folding forward, come back to the breath. Notice how you're feeling. Relax the belly. So if you notice that you tend to draw the belly button in towards the spine, let it puff out, let it relax. So much of the time we keep that belly pulling in, we're guarded, and it makes us feel a sense of security pulling it in and also creating this kind of bubble around us. But let it out, let it go. You're safe, you're the only one here right now. Breathe into the pelvic area. Take your big breaths. Again, relax the jaw, soften the face, relax your shoulders. Allow your legs to fall heavy towards the ground beneath you. Breathe deeply. Honor yourself and where you're at right now. Again, notice whatever sensations coming from your womb space, your pelvic area, and just allow yourself to be with it. Rather than trying to suppress it, get to know it, understand it. It's okay. Let yourself feel. When we let ourselves feel, we allow ourselves to open up and we allow ourselves to heal. If I had continued on suppressing my quote-unquote cramps, I would have never come to the understanding that I have now of not only my body, but my mental well-being. I had a lot of suppressed self-esteem problems that came from that womb space when I started tuning into it. Lots and lots of healing that I had to do around relationships with men in my past and present. However, if I didn't go there, if I didn't tune in, if I didn't let myself open up, I'd still stay trapped where I was before. Now I feel so much more free, so much more connected, and so much more happy and peaceful. Sometimes we have to go towards what we consider the pain, the hurt, in order to get to the other side and find freedom. And maybe you're already there, maybe you don't experience much pain, if you will, or sensation, and That's amazing. Just let yourself notice the intricacies of what you feel right now. And no matter what you're feeling or where you're at in your journey with your womb space, where you are right now is exactly where you're meant to be. There's no right or wrong, good or bad. Just let yourself be where you are right now. And we'll hold this posture for a couple more big rounds of breath. Again, let yourself just melt into this posture. Sometimes I find myself in this posture for so long that I forget how long I've been there. So just breathe, breathe, breathe. It's okay to be still. It's okay to add subtle movements. Honor yourself and where you're at today. Couple more breaths here. Breathe deeply. And we're going to make our way to that twist once again. So either find your way onto your hands or your forearms. Take a big breath or two. And when you're ready, gently float your right hand toward the right side of the room. Maybe place it on the ground, on the right thigh. You can slightly pivot the left hand inwards if you're on your forearm. Breathe here, relax the low belly. Take some big cleansing breaths. Relax the jaw, one more big breath here. On your exhale, right hand comes down, and then the inhale, open on up to the other side. Take some big breaths, notice how you feel. The more you press your hands down towards the ground and your thigh, the deeper the stretch will be. So again, notice what feels good for you. Only go to where your body wants to be right now. One more big breath. Beautiful. Set that left hand back down. Inhale, walk the hands back up towards you. Let's go to that ragdoll forward fold. So extend the legs out, bob the knees if you need to. Take a big breath or two, and when you're ready, let your body go limp. So curl on down. Hands can rest by your sides or on the legs. Relax the back of the neck. Relax the spine. Relax the legs. Let them just kind of fall out towards the side. Breathe deeply here. Find what feels good. And let yourself just be in your body. Experience life from within. Connect to that deeper sense of yourself, of the world, in your heart. Take a couple more full breaths. Whenever your next inhale rises, peel yourself on up and then transition to child's pose. So swing your legs behind you, make your way to tabletop, hands and knees. You decide how wide you want to spread your knees. Maybe you're going for more of a low back stretch, slight back bend, knees spread wide. Maybe you want more of a curve in the back body, so you rest your body on the thighs by bringing the knees close towards each other, or maybe you play around with it. So knees can be close, they can be far, they can be somewhere in between. Big toes touch behind you, and when you're ready, follow an exhale to sink the hips back to the heels. Hands can be anywhere you please, so they can be extended out in front of you. They can be by your sides with the palms facing up. You can also, by all means, rest your body on pillows, bolsters, blocks, whatever suits your body right now. Breathe through the back. So imagine the breath traveling down your spine all the way to the pelvic region. Inhaling, bringing in space, almost blowing up the region like a balloon, and exhaling, releasing it like slowly releasing air from a balloon. Take a couple big breaths like that. And your choice. If you want to experiment with adding movement here, Maybe you just kind of roll or grind, wave the hips side to side, and notice how that feels for you. If you're like, no, thank you, no motion for me today, then by all means stay still. But focus this movement on the pelvic region, just kind of rocking the hips side to side rather than giving yourself a whole rock of the spine and head. Keep it to the pelvis. And again, synchronize with the breath. Follow the cycle of your inhales and exhales as you gently flow side to side if you are gently rocking. And again, notice how this feels for you. If you want to move into any other movements like fluid cat-cows or anything else, feel free to do so. I'm going to be staying in child's pose. I prefer to keep my body close to the ground and keep it to minimal postures when I begin my period, but if your body's different, by all means do what feels good. We're here to just be ourselves with each other and hold a beautiful space for one another. Breathe deeply wherever you are. We'll take a couple more big breaths here. Keep your mind or bring your mind back to the pelvic region. Notice what you're feeling, any sensations that are coming up, or maybe energy that's stirring within. And acknowledge it. Notice what comes up. All right, on your next inhale, gently begin to walk your hands back towards you until you're propped up sitting on the heels. We're going to swing the legs back around in front of us. So swing your legs around, and this is for you next, is next forward fold. Not that everything wasn't, but your choice here is what I mean. The legs are going to either be extended out in front of you. You can take that ragdoll forward fold if that felt good for you, or play around with any other leg variation. Maybe it's Baddha Konasana, butterfly legs. Maybe it's wide-legged forward fold. You take the legs wider. Maybe it's some other type of forward fold that feels good in your body right now. But take some sort of fold that serves your body. Maybe you even place the feet flat on the ground, bend the knees, and just kind of work your torso towards the thighs. Experiment here. Give yourself one last version of a forward fold before we lay on down. And again, add any types of rocks or movements or sways that just feel good for you. Stay in the body with the breath. Breathe deeply. And take your time here. When you are ready to lay down on your back body, gently place the feet on the ground, bending the knees, and just roll yourself down one vertebra at a time. Again, take your time. If you even want to pause this video and take a couple more stretches before you move on, feel free to do so. And once you're laying down on your mat, bring the feet in towards you and then step the feet out wider than hips distance with the knees bent. On your next inhale, puff the chest up, inch the shoulders down the back body, and then set the chest or the back body back down on the mat. And your choice, hands can rest on the belly or by the sides, but when you're ready, find an exhale and allow the knees to drop towards each other along the midline and rest against each other. So they may not touch, and that's okay. They can hang in space, or step your feet wider or closer to you, play around with it, but we're going into a super restorative version of bridge pose. So just allow the knees to rest against each other. If you want to take a different version, for example, placing a block under your low back, again, find what works in your body. This is all about what feels good for you. And again, breathe to the lower body, to the pelvis. Take some full breaths. Notice whatever comes up for you. I know the first time I truly tuned into my womb space, I got the visual of just a girl like curled over, upset and crying, and it just like brought all these tears and emotions to me. I couldn't stop crying, but I, in my mind, like heard the self-talk of this girl, and it was me. And it was so negative and hurtful and self-sabotaging, and all the thoughts that I used to think about myself and how I wasn't good enough, and the whole gamut. And it all came back to me, and I realized that a lot of the pain I was holding in my womb space and pelvic region was that I realized that the more I found love for myself and who I am within and in my life, the more that pain turned to love and just life energy flowing. So again, there's powerful stories that are held within our womb space, so tune in, and I'd like to give you the courage to invite in whatever does come up for you. You're strong enough to receive the messages that are there for you. If at any point you want to begin to just gently roll or wave the knees side to side, feel free to do so. And make them small little waves rather than going all the way to the ground on one side and another, unless that feels good right now. Just kind of like you're massaging the low back into the mat with the waves of your knees side to side. Again, stay coordinated with the breath. And then we'll gently make our way to a modified version of Viparita Karani. So gently lift the feet up off the ground, bend the knees, and just let the feet kind of hang by your bottom in the air. And the knees will stay stacked directly over the hip points. Hands can rest by the sides, palms face up, or if it feels better to have them over your low belly or your uterus, feel free to do so. And we're just going to hang here for a little bit. If it feels like a lot of work or energy to keep the knees lifted, set the feet down. We're going for a super relaxing and restorative posture. So find where this works in your body and where you can create space and ease within and around you. So having the knees below or above the hips allows energy to come back to our pelvic area. Allows for renewed circulation within the legs, within the body. So take a couple big breaths, breathing deeply as you are embarking on a new cycle. New opportunities for the next month or so. New space within and around. And from here, only when you are ready to transition, gently make your way to reclined Baddha Konasana. So butterfly legs, insides of the feet touch, knees splay outwards, and let that shape just drop to the ground. If this does not serve your body right now, find anything else that works for you. You can even just begin to rest on the ground. Pause here for a couple moments, taking deep breaths, relax the shoulders, soften the jaw. Breathe to the hips and pelvic region. Let yourself be with what you feel. Notice what the feeling truly is. If you were to rate the sensation, what you feel right now in your uterus, your pelvic region, or anywhere else that you're getting the strong sensation in your body right now, if you were to rate it on a scale of -10, the worst pain you've ever felt in the world, to +10, the best feeling you've ever felt, where would it fall on that spectrum? And be honest with yourself. Notice where it falls. Usually the first number that pops up for you, just go with that. Try not to overthink it, my friend. When you're ready, we'll make our way to Shavasana. Again, find the shape that serves your body, whether that's legs extended, arms extended, or maybe you curl into a little ball shape, whatever feels good to rest for the next couple moments. Find where that works. If there's any last stretches, postures, movements, shapes that you want to take, listen to your body. Go there. And once you make your way towards Shavasana, if it feels good, gently draw the eyes closed. Let yourself be. Begin to invite in a soft and easy, a gentle nature to the mind and to the body, to the space within and around you. And imagine softening the space in your womb, the uterus, Almost imagine the edges just rounding, getting softer. Begin to relax your body even further, starting by softening the crown of your head. Relax your forehead, your eyebrows, your eyes. Soften the cheeks and the jaw. Relax your lips and your teeth. Gently float the tongue down away from the roof of your mouth. Soften your ears, the space behind your head, your scalp. Relax the back of your neck, the sides and the front, and allow the throat to open. Melt your shoulders down the back body as you relax the upper arms, the elbows. Soften the lower arms and the wrists. Relax your hands, allowing every finger to get a little bit lighter. Soften your chest, your rib cage, and your belly. Relax the back body, melting every vertebra down towards the mat beneath you, softening the back body. Relax your hips, your pelvic area, the glutes, your womb space. Soften the upper legs, the knees. Relax the lower legs, the ankles. And allow the feet to fall towards the sides or relax completely. Every toe gets a little bit lighter. For a couple moments, tune into the ripple, the wave of the breath along the front body. The chest lifts, the core of the body lifts. On the inhales and the exhales, the belly and chest soften. Stay with the rhythm, the flow, the cycle of the breath. And eventually allow this inner state of relaxation, softness, and ease to translate to your mind. Soften the mind as though it's a muscle itself. Let it relax, melt away. For the next couple moments, just let yourself be here in this space. Let yourself be and feel whatever comes to you. Try to release any sorts of judgment. Just love yourself for these next couple moments. Be here now. You're perfect exactly as you are, my friend. If you'd like to stay resting in Shavasana even longer, please stay exactly where you're at. If you'd like to begin to release the posture, gently bring your awareness back in towards your body. Maybe the breath deepens. Maybe you begin to introduce small wiggles to the toes, the fingers, the wrists and ankles. And only when you feel ready Gently roll over to either side and pause. Rest in the fetal position. Again, take your time. Once you feel ready, gently press yourself up towards seated, keeping the eyes softly closed as you move. And we'll eventually meet up in that seated posture, eyes closed, and then place one hand over your womb space, so just below the belly button, and then stack your other palm on top of that. Relax the belly fully. Take a couple moments and just be with the uterus, the womb space, the beautiful essence of your being within. Notice how you feel. And send some love there. Maybe some kind words or loving energy. Be with your body. Be a friend to your body. Love the body you have. Eventually bring the palms to touch at heart center. Take a couple of moments and just observe, notice how your mind feels right now. What word describes the state of your mind in this moment? Bring your awareness to your body as a whole. How does it feel? What word describes the state of your body? And gently bring your awareness to your emotional well-being. What emotion do you feel right now? And just notice, become aware, let it be. And gently give yourself a smile. Truly express to yourself some gratitude for showing up here today and cultivating a loving state within and all around you. Thank you very much for sharing your practice, your beautiful energy with me here today. The light in me truly honors the light in you. Namaste.